Do you ever have one of those days when you are thinking, oh, this is going so smoothly, everything is great, I have the best volunteers in the world, technology is cooperating, and then when you're going to get started, technology stops cooperating in that moment? That's what happened to me today. So thank you for your patience, and thank you so much to Stefano, Jennifer, John, and Anna for keeping things going while I dealt with my Zoom issue. So without Okay, so I'm going to need just a couple more minutes because I just need to get the slides going. So I do appreciate your patience, and I'm hoping that you have all had at least one big Zoom problem so you totally know where I'm coming from, and if not, then great. I'm happy for you.
Hey, Gina, I can put the slides up.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, so I thought I asked you about that, but the Zoom phone is weird. Okay. Excellent. Thank you so much, Stefano, and thanks everybody for your patience. My name is Gina Salcedo. I will be hosting the Candidates Showcase for today, and I'm really excited to be doing so. This is a great opportunity for the candidates to tell the district about themselves and just give us a sense of who they are, and I hope that you get a lot out of this and it helps you make a decision next week, but also just generally understand who's going to be involved in the leadership team next year. So moving on to the next slide, the agenda for today is an introduction, and I did buffer in quite a bit of time for exactly this potential issue, technical issues. So as of 10:20 or so, we're going to start the director level candidate interviews. That's the trio. If you don't know what that is, that's okay. Don't worry. I'm going to actually walk through that before we actually get through to the interviews. We will then have the division level candidates, and again, we will talk about what that means. And last but not least, we will briefly talk about the business meeting and the CLCon details that are coming up. I'm hoping that our CLCon chair is able to join us, but if not, then I'll show you where the link is so you can access it. This year is free, so it's a great time to join the community, have some extra time to get more out of your education and so on. Next slide, please. I wanted to just do a shout out to the team that you probably got to them you're supposed to early on because of the tech issues. So our timer for today is going to be John DiCarlo, and our tech person is Anna Justice. You can reach out to her if you're having any technical issues. And then the McGee's, Jennifer and Stefano, who most of you know by now, are going to be helping with the taking of the candidates back and forth, including Jennifer's going to be with the candidates in the breakout room when it's time to do that. So she'll be doing the monitoring, but we'll cover that in a bit. So thank you so much, team. Could not possibly do this without you. What does it mean to be nominated? You're going to notice that as I introduce the candidates, I'm going to say that it's a nominated or a floor candidate. So just to give you an understanding what the nomination process is, the nomination process involves being vetted by a district leadership committee of 9 members plus the lead. So I led that committee this year. There was 1 member representing each of our 9 divisions. So the people who are going to be who were nominated went through a process of submitting an application, including a letter of interest, positions held, and recommendations. And then they attended an interview that felt more like being interviewed by a panel. So I think it was probably quite intimidating, but of course they did well enough that then they received the nomination by the committee. So that's what that process is. Next slide, please. And that's just a list of the nominations committee, all 9 of them. I really appreciate all their time. It was a long time commitment, and they really put a lot of effort into that. So it is much appreciated. For timing, so candidate showcase timing is actually quite so. For each office, for candidates who are director level, they get 6 minutes. Any candidates who are currently opposed get 6 minutes as well, but there are no candidates who are currently opposed at the moment, so all the other candidates are going to be getting 3 minutes. Our timer, John DeCarlo, is going to show them cards at their respective times, as you can see outlined in the slide, and at the time when their minutes expire, they're going to be muted immediately. So that's just a heads up. That's what's going to happen, but the candidates have been notified and they're aware of this. Next slide, please. This is the interview order for today. So just to give you a sense of how it's going to happen, but it's essentially starting with trio going all the way down to division I. And this is the way that it happens as well in the election. So we just chose to follow that order. Next slide, please. And I wanted to give you a brief overview of the org chart, again, for those of you who maybe are newer to district leadership and are not as familiar with all these concepts. Basically, the trio is the top of the ladder. So that's the executive team. The district director is essentially the CEO for the district, and program quality director and club growth are second and third in command. I'll give you at a glance views of those roles as well, but just to give you an understanding of when I say director level candidates, I'm talking about that blue box. And then that green box are the division director candidates that we talked about. The area directors are going to be appointed, and they are going to be support division directors. And each area director has 4 to 5 clubs in their area. So you have probably interacted with them because they are the link between the rest of the district and the clubs themselves. But this is more for the purposes of giving you an overview of what the district looks like, not necessarily because we're not going to discuss the area director aspect or the clubs today, but just so that you understand. So next slide, please. So again, we're starting with the trio, and basically they focus on the district strategic direction. They're the ones that are thinking about things like how many contests do we have and which ones. They deal with everything related to the conference. They work with support roles to ensure that that direction is followed. So after determining that strategy, they provide the support to go in that direction. They train club officers and also district officers at district executive committee meetings, and they actually go to training by Toastmasters International. That's usually physical training. That's not going to happen this year, so I'm not sure exactly what's happening, but generally Toastmasters International has them travel places and they go through a whole week of training. So it's a serious commitment. Next slide, please. Okay, so now we're going to pause for just a sec to let the candidates leave the room, and Stefano's going to take care of that for us.
All right, I'll get working on that right now. It looks like I've moved folks in. We have Simon needs to accept the invitation. And then I'll go back and do a double check to make sure that we have everybody. Oh, we have another Gina here. Second Gina. All right. I think we have everybody. I don't see anybody left that shouldn't be in there, or that shouldn't be in here. And I'll end up moving Anthony Alexander back if there's anything else that you want to do.
Is District
Gina?
31 Toastmaster? Remember the trio?
Yeah, it's either Christine. It's probably Christine.
Yeah, it is Christine. Just
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good point for transparency. It is Christine. Christine, say something. Christine.
That co-host Christine. Yeah, she's the one. She's that one. She was providing some tech support on that. So it looks like I have.
This is Christine, but per rules, I am staying out of these proceedings, but I am here for technical support. So thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason I needed Christine to speak is that if it says District 31, it could be Anthony or Trevor, and they're not supposed to be in the room. So I just wanted to make sure that that was clear. But actually, Jennifer is in the room with the candidates, and the requirements are that they be on video. So there's some monitoring. Think of it as a table topics or evaluation contest where you have somebody making sure that the candidates are doing the right thing and all that.
All right, Gina, the numbers check out. We're good. So
Okay.
I can bring in Anthony when you're ready.
Okay, just give me 1 sec. Okay, so this is not gonna work. Just okay. Just want to sync my audio with my video, and now that we're there, all right. Please bring Anthony Alexander in, nominated candidate for district director. Anthony Alexander.
I was gonna say you can introduce him once I bring him back over.
Oh, sorry.
Just so he's aware that he's got
that he's been introduced. Yes.
Yeah, he's been introduced.
Just a small request, Gina. Is it okay if I just give you a thumbs up, or let you know when I can see the name, just to make sure I have the muting power and see the name on the participants list before we start?
That you see the name on the...
Yeah, he's not there yet. I just want to make sure technically everything works out fine. I see his name.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, actually, you could give me a verbal warning, because actually, no, I can still...
Yeah, I don't think he's in the room yet, but...
Okay.
All right, I'm going to go over there and bring him in. I'll be back.
Okay.
I wonder if they went to get coffee. Okay, here we go. I can see him.
We got him.
Good.
Yep, there he is.
All right. Hi, Anthony.
Good morning.
All right. Anthony Alexander, nominated candidate for district director. Anthony, would you like to go straight to the questions or make an opening statement?
I'll make a quick opening statement. I want to thank everyone for joining the call this morning, and I want to actually reach out to everyone here at District 31, those who are participating here this morning and also virtually that are watching this. It is a pleasure and an honor to be able to be a nominated candidate for district director, and I hope to continue to serve in the same capacity that I have been for the past 4 years as a district leader as a part of District 31. So I want to thank everyone for allowing me to continue to serve you. And I'll go into a couple of questions that you may have this morning about what I see in terms of District 31 and what I hope to do in the role.
Absolutely, Anthony. What is your communication strategy for the next year? How are you going to make sure that the clubs are aware of what's going on and that everybody stays connected to the district community?
That's a very interesting question, especially in the trying times that we're in right now with COVID-19. I think one of the things that is very critical in terms of our communication strategy is not only figuring out what works best in terms of our communication strategy right now in terms of the email distribution that we have, but also making sure that everyone is more connected in terms of our social media streams and also YouTube as well, and familiar of how to navigate those different tools. It's very important in this day and age that we're more on the pulse in terms of how to connect with people on different platforms, different avenues, and different streams. So that way everyone knows the best way to get the educational value of Toastmasters and knows how to connect with individuals across the district if they have any questions, concerns, best practices, and what have you. So those are the things I would like to tap into even more so in the next year.
What leadership skills and experience can you bring to the district from outside of your current experience already being PQD and having been CGD?
In my different capacities in my professional career, I've actually been a manager and supervisor within the finance industry for 12 years. And I've been in different capacities and different roles in that, whether it had to be with operations teams within the finance world. I've also been a part of a continuity team where in catastrophic events similar to this, I would be working with different operations leaders and different departments to make sure that we execute at the same level as if nothing had ever happened. So I think I bring a unique set of skills in my different managerial professions where not only in an event like COVID-19 or even in a normal state, I would be able to lead and execute in the way that we see fit and be able to bring success for our district.
That makes a lot of sense, Anthony. And in terms of bringing success to the district, of course, as a communication organization, one of the things that we want to make sure to do is encourage members to speak up and address concerns that they have with clubs or district leadership. How would you encourage people to do that?
I think leveraging a lot of the different tools in terms of communication to at least make it known that even in this time where you can't just call me or go directly to a district event to engage with me, it's more important that we bring out more videos, we bring out more content, and at least put out there a platform where myself and also the other district leaders can get in front of our district membership and engage with membership in a more frequent basis so they feel more comfortable. And on top of that, they feel as though that they're safe to come to us with questions. They're safe at any time to engage with us 24/7. And I think that's the strategy that we have to do, is going back to your earlier question, communication is big on that one.
Thanks, Anthony. As you consider your road moving forward in your district career, who was the most influential mentor in your journey to district leadership?
If for sake of time, and I already see the green card, I don't think there's one, there's many. I think you yourself has contributed to my different leadership styles. Stefano McGee has contributed to my strategic planning skills. Anna's been influential in terms of my engagement with different members in different capacities. So I don't have necessarily one mentor. I have many mentors that help build on attributes in terms of my leadership style that have brought me to this position today. And this kind of segues into my closing statement. One of the things that I feel suits me the best in terms of district director is not only the fact that I've learned from a lot of influential leaders that have been a part of the district leadership team, but my unique set of skills of being a public relations manager, club growth director, and currently program quality director suits me the best way to move forward on part of the district. So I hope you consider me as district director with my unique set of skills, both professionally and in the Toastmasters realm.
Thank you very much, Anthony. And people, you can clap this way or that. No, I don't want any noise, but you can show your visual support. Yay. Thank you so much, Anthony.
I feel bad because I can't fist bump people or anything like that.
Let's do it.
Boom. But again, thank you,
All right, thank you
once
so much,
again for
Anthony.
allowing me to speak to you guys this morning. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out at any time.
Thanks, Anthony. Okay. I think red card. I think we can move on to our next candidate, Trevor.
I'll have Trevor brought in then, yes?
Yes, please.
Okay, he should be coming over.
I see Trevor.
Excellent. Trevor Crippen, nominated candidate for Program Quality Director. Trevor, would you like to make an opening statement or go straight to the questions?
I would like to go straight to the questions, Madam Toastmaster.
Trevor, what inspired you to enter the journey of district leadership and move forward with program quality?
When I first got involved in district leadership, I got pulled in as an area director. I was a club president. They said, you'd be a great area director. Didn't know what that was. Got into it. But I found I became part of this community where I really enjoyed working with people around the district and bringing training and opportunities to people in different clubs and seeing what different clubs across the district were all about. And from there, I continued on to a division director and got into the trio leadership by running for club growth because I was really enjoying the idea of building up new clubs. And the past year has been this amazing experience for me, getting to work with new communities, bringing the Toastmasters program to them and seeing the learning and enjoyment and all the fun that they're having with it. So I'm really excited to keep moving on to it with this next role of program quality and help all the clubs that are around our district continue to have fun and achieve excellence.
Thank you, Trevor. And of course, as program quality director, your role is to be in charge of the strategic direction from an educational standpoint. And it's not likely that we will be able to have in-person meetings. What is your strategy to ensure that we continue to have that educational component for officers, for all the other leaders, and everything else?
Well, first things first, we're going to have to be looking at our initial summer officer training, our usual TLIs, which would normally be in locations all over the state that people would drive to and eat pizza and listen to us talk for 3 hours. It's not going to happen in person this summer. They're already ruling out any public events in Boston until Labor Day. So we're looking at virtual TLIs for the summer. Luckily, we already had an experience of running one of those at the end of the winter season, just by pure coincidence. So we have a framework to build with it. One way that we can get creative and make it have a little bit more pop is that there's no geographic restriction to these. Like you don't have to drive somewhere. It doesn't have to be somewhere close to you. So we can actually work to customize some of these trainings a little bit more based on different groups and tailor to different types of leaders, people that might have been around in it longer, people who are brand new, and create more of a customizable learning experience. And really, as well, we'll have people accessible to do the trainings and run breakouts in those too to create more of a vibrant breakout training experience in these trainings over the winter. So I think that it's like anything else. There's a lot of drawbacks to the fact that you can't be there in person. Like, I would love to be there with you all, but we can take this experience and find the good things that we can do with it, and really do something great for the district on that front.
Thanks, Trevor. And along those lines, I think one of the tools for recruitment for district leadership is in fact these in-person meetings, TLIs, and all of these events where people get to intersect with the district. What are your thoughts in terms of how do we encourage other people to step up and make this a part of their journey? And what's your role in that?
Well, I mean, I would say my role is the same as a lot of people in district leadership, where it's just to be an example and to socialize with people, and to make this a fun experience when people come across the district leadership aspect, so that they'll want to get involved and look for ways to sort of build relationships within these events, so that we can ask those people to step up.
That makes sense. And this is, well, you're club growth director right now, and I know that the focus of program quality isn't as much on retention or growth. However, one of the strategies for retention tends to be education, and for clubs that have just started, that's going to be a challenge to get them into the right mindset. So do you have thoughts on how do we support those new clubs so that they don't fold?
Well, I have plenty of thoughts about supporting new clubs. I probably should close out here, though. I'm getting my card shown to me. So I'm going to make a closing statement and let you guys move on. So the district mission is to build new clubs and to support all clubs in achieving excellence. But what does it mean for a club to achieve excellence? It means excelling at the club's mission, which is to provide that supportive and positive learning environment and empower people to develop communication and leadership skills. So are we helping people learn? Are we empowering members to lead? Are we creating that positive experience? Or are we so hung up in the details of getting meetings to put together that we're stressed out and bringing negative energy? It's a challenge to live up to in these trying times. So I think the most important thing we can do as district leaders is set a positive tone, provide training, and empower our club leaders, and to build a framework of support and a positive vibe. So that's what I'll focus on as program quality director. Let's all learn, have fun, and achieve excellence in 2020. Thanks for your support,
Thank you,
everyone.
Trevor. Woo! See all the visual support. Everybody's very supportive of you. Very good. I think we can move on to our next candidate for club growth.
All right, I'll get that going. Stand by. Audrey should be on her way over shortly. She's on the move.
I see you. All set.
Thanks, John.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I feel like we're running like a transporter for Star Trek.
Audrey Christian. I'm sorry, because I have a hard time saying the last name, but Audrey Christian, Club Growth Director nominated candidate. Would you like to make an opening statement or go forward with the questions?
Let's go straight to the questions, please.
So Audrey, as Club Growth Director, you would be in charge of chartering new clubs. What is your strategy for doing that in COVID times?
It will be different. We're going into a whole new world right now. With the COVID-19, a lot of companies and a lot of places are doing virtual meetings, which that will have its advantages and disadvantages to some people. We might get more people joining meetings since it's virtually and you won't have to drive an hour or two, or it could be a disadvantage. My plan is to see what the world will bring and go from there and plan my strategy as the world opens up or as things close again.
Thanks, Audrey. So we know, of course, that up until Labor Day, there won't be public events, and it's not likely that offices will be open, so corporate clubs would be tough, and certainly community clubs as well. So do you have thoughts on starting July 1st? How would you start to develop that strategy?
I feel we need to motivate some clubs again. Some of the clubs I am involved in, they were a little leery to start virtual clubs, and we are getting virtual meetings together and going. I think once everybody, or once the world starts opening up and we meet one-on-one, or we meet as in person, I think that will help us gear up for the next year of Toastmasters.
That makes sense, and certainly as you consider that path for the rest of the year, and the fact that, like you were saying, it's complicated to get clubs to meet. In terms of the retention side of your role, how are you going to handle some of the clubs that were already struggling before this crisis even began?
I feel as one of the district directors, I need to go out and visit the clubs. I am blessed that I retired early, so I will have time to visit some of the clubs that are struggling and do a one-to-one and face-to-face with them and find out what exactly is their issue. What can I do, or what can we do as a team to help these clubs struggle, as well as get them coaches, etc.
Makes sense. Thank you, Audrey. And I know you've been a Toastmaster for a long time, but this would be your first time certainly in upper district leadership. And I'm wondering what innovative approaches you think you would bring to the club growth role?
I am very passionate about Toastmasters, very animated, very passionate, and I am very motivated. I feel that these skills that I possess, I can go and visit these clubs or meet people either virtually or in person, and hopefully my enthusiasm, my passion will get other people's passion and motivation going for their clubs.
So along that vein, would you please describe a successful team that you've led in the past?
Yes. My last DTM in Pathways, I had to do my project. I wanted to pick a project that I knew nothing about, a project that I would learn. I did a toy drive. I had no idea how to do a toy drive. I had a team help me. Did I make mistakes? Yes, I made mistakes, but I learned from my mistakes. When I do another toy drive, I will take the lessons learned and move on for them. I had a very good team helping me, and every time I made a mistake, I would stop, get the team together, and say, all right, what can we do? We hit a roadblock. What can we do? And I am very open to new ideas. I do not know everything. I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to be a sponge and absorb everything, all the knowledge from people who have done this prior to me. And that way, it will help me be a better person and a better Toastmaster.
Thank you, Audrey. And along the lines, like you said, we all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. Tell us about a time when you had an issue with a team member and you had to handle it. How did you go about that?
If I have an issue, I'm more of a person, let's sit down, take the person out of the problem, let's sit down and talk and discuss what the issue is and find out where we can go from here. Take the person out of the problem. And with that, time is running out, so I'd like to conclude by saying, I do not know everything. No, I have never been a district leader, but I can assure you that I will learn. I do not know all the answers, but I know where to go to get the answers. I feel, as being one of the district leaders, the members, I will work for the members, and I would like to make each member proud and District 31 proud that they voted for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Audrey. Oh, very supportive of you. Look at all the hands and the clapping on the screen. You can't hear them, but they're there. Thank you. Okay, we can bring on our next candidate, Division A.
You're going to bring in Rudy?
Yes, please.
I see Rudy, all set.
Excellent, thank you. Rudy King, Division A nominated candidate. Rudy, would you like to start with an opening statement or go ahead with the questions? Are we?
Oh, he's got to move both of them. He's got two accounts. One is
Okay.
the, so we invite, you'll have to leave and go back to the, there he is, he's coming over.
Okay. John, let me know when you see him.
So how do I know which one is the one?
Do you see both? They should both be
I,
in here.
I see
Or-
both, yeah.
Excellent, okay.
You can ask him, Rudy, are you here? Do that thing from beyond.
Rudy, are
can
you
hear
here?
us?
I'm here. I can
Give us a sign.
I see the one, the microphone lit up. We're all set.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay. Rudy King, Division A nominated candidate. Rudy, would you like to make an opening statement or go forward with the questions?
We can go straight ahead with questions if you'd like to.
Okay. Well, this is a relatively new question, but certainly very important. So as we move forward through the COVID crisis, how are you going to be leading as division director to engage your area directors and help them support the clubs during this difficult time?
It is a difficult question to begin with because it's an unprecedented case. No one's ever done this before, so it will be new. But my thought has been around that I'm thinking of what any division director should be doing is having a division council. So I'm thinking with that methodology, I should be able to have virtual meetings with my ADs in order to be able to lead from that direction. Of course, that all stems down from how the district's leading me or what I'm giving back to the district as well. So I think that put it together with the virtualness of everything today, I don't think it changes that much. It just changes that physical presence to people and makes that, a little cooler. But hopefully we can make it so it'll be warm enough that people will feel like they're getting the leadership they need.
Thank you, Rudy. And I know you've been in the district for a while. You're definitely a longtime Toastmaster. We've seen you in contests. And I'm wondering, what are some things that you would like to see, like in terms of the district direction, and that you would bring to the role towards something innovative?
Well, I think it's been around a long time, and I think it's getting better. But I still think it lacks a little bit of continuity in the sense of clubs, I think, and maybe even areas feel a little more like an island than they do a unit. So I'm hoping to kind of make that a little more transparent in some way. I haven't quite figured that out yet, but I'm hoping with discussion, listening, and monitoring that I can determine what that direction would be, and we follow that and try to make that work for everybody.
Thank you, Rudy. Would you like to make a closing statement now, or?
Yes, I would. Thank you, Gina. I'm excited about someone having actually nominated me for this position. And I feel that that's a testament to some leadership abilities that I've had in the past. I am currently VPE for 2 clubs, one at Advanced Club as well. In that position, I've learned many things in regard to people and how to lead and how to talk to people. I've been president.
Okay, sorry, Rudy. Good job, Rudy. Thank you so much. See all the visual support. Okay, we can bring in our next candidate, Division B, Carly Cox.
Okay, Carly Cox is going to be coming over shortly. And she's on the move. And I think she's in.
I see her.
Hi, Carly. Carly Cox, nominated candidate for Division B Director. Carly, would you like to make an opening statement or go straight with the questions?
Straight to the questions, please.
Well, so certainly we're in interesting times right now with COVID-19, and one of the big issues is going to be supporting clubs at this time. As the person who is supporting the people who are supporting the clubs, what's your strategy to help in that situation and help them help?
I think with the virtual meetings, one of the main things obviously is the comfort with the technology. So I actually am in an interesting situation in that I have been working remotely for the last 10 years. I work in an above site role in my organization, which means that 90+% of my work is with folks who are not in the same location as me. So I actually worked remotely before all of this happened. And even though my format is WebEx at my work, I've been doing Zooms through Toastmasters. And so I think that those two things together, I've been able to help support folks with the technical side, as well as encouraging them to keep up all the same things that we have with an in-person meeting in terms of the support and the community and good quality meetings following the standard format.
Thank you, Carly. And along similar lines, one of the things that as division director you'll have to do is help recruit area directors for your division. What are your thoughts on how to do that, given that there are not as many opportunities to interface with people?
Yeah, I think the interesting thing is, I'm not part of Division B right now, although my home is physically located within it. I am familiar with the current Division B director, and so I will be heavily relying on him to help me and to take the information that he's gathered this year with his current area directors, as well as their reports for the clubs, and then I will start reaching out to those folks that have been identified as potential candidates and possibly setting up Zoom meetings or WebEx meetings with them so that I can get to know them and try to see if any of them might be interested in encouraging them to join the team.
Thank you, Carly. And what's something that you would like the district to see the district do this year?
I think that one of the things that is important is the club growth, because we've had, looking back over the last several years, the district has been unfortunately losing more clubs than it's been gaining, and so I think it's really important to try to get more clubs, and that might be more challenging in this time, obviously, but I think we can still try to reach out to those people who have responded in the past and try to encourage that club growth, both in terms of new clubs as well as, of course, making sure that trying to keep the clubs that we have and support them so that they can stay strong.
I'm going to nudge you towards your closing statement.
Yeah, so through my roles as Vice President of Education, Club President.
Sorry, Carly. Okay, thank you so much, Carly. Really appreciate your input and your answers to the questions. Sure. All right, let's bring in Division C, Mike Horath.
Okay, Mike, you're up.
Okay, I will be moving Mike over. Stand by. He's on the move.
All right, I
Looks
see
like
him.
he's here.
Okay. Mike Horath, Division C nominated candidate. Would you like to make an opening statement or go straight to the questions?
Sure, I'll say a few words. Thank you for the introduction, Gina, and thank you to the rest of the District Leadership Committee for the nomination and opportunity to run for Division C Director. Club officers, district officers, and Toastmasters of District 31, it's very nice to be here with you today, and it's nice to have an excuse to dress up during quarantine. Let's move into questions.
Okay, so Mike, as division director, your role is going to be to support area directors as they support their clubs through this difficult time. What's your strategy for helping them?
It's a good question. So this is undoubtedly a unprecedented time in our lives and in Toastmasters history. So with it becomes challenges and opportunities. I think that there's an opportunity to increase outreach with all these digital meetings. It's a lot easier for people, I think, to make it to an hour digital meeting in their own room as opposed to going out and having to go to different venues. So there's an opportunity to grow membership there. But I think fundamentally, as long as clubs are continuing to meet regularly and they're keeping their members engaged and able to advance through their leadership and communication goals, that this time it can be business as usual. And once sort of the world opens back up and we're able to meet in person, I think there's going to be a whole host of challenges that we have to think about and work through together. So I'm looking forward to that and taking the challenges as they come.
And along those lines, Mike, one of the challenges and responsibilities with being division director is that recruitment of area directors. What's your plan for that now that it's difficult to get together people in person and make that request?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good question. So this is actually something that I've already started to work on. I've sort of just been outreaching with people that are very involved in the division that I'm running for and asking for introductions, starting to have conversations. So these sort of things I think can be handled over phone calls, just getting a feel for people and also having meetings like this. So I think it's the same process as it is before, but instead of getting a cup of coffee, maybe we're just having a phone call instead and talking through people's interest in the role. And so far it's been pretty successful. I have a few people that are interested. So hopefully over the next month or two, we're able to put together a good team.
Wonderful. I'm going to nudge you towards your closing statement.
Sure. Thank you. I appreciate it. So Toastmasters has been a critical organization in my own personal development and in the lives of many of my friends and fellow members. I believe deeply in its mission in improving people's communication and leadership skills around the world. I hope to play a part in the success of this mission through the successful administration.
Sorry, Mike. Thank you so much. See all the visual support. Everybody's clapping for you. You can't hear it, but we're all here. Thank you very much for taking time to tell us about your plans, vision, and strategy. We could bring in Division E candidate, please.
All right, we'll be looking to bring in Vidya. Stand by. Vidya's on the move.
All set.
Hi, Gina.
Thank you. Hi, Vidya. Vidya Mathur, Division E floor candidate. Vidya, would you like to make an opening statement or go straight to the questions?
I'd like to go straight to the questions.
Okay, Vidya. So your role this year is going to be to support area directors who are in turn supporting their own clubs. What's your strategy for helping them in COVID-19 times?
Yeah, my strategy is to collaborate with the area directors to find out what their goals are and come out with a plan, and then start from there and then take it from there. Because my goal and my strategy is more as a team work. So find out what the team needs and what the members need, and then based on it, set the plan.
Thank you, Vidya. And I know this is not this wouldn't be the first time that you are in the division director role. What do you see as the things that you would do differently this time based on what you learned from doing the role in the past?
Definitely the environment is different from the last time. So this time it would be more an online meetings. I foresee a lot of online meetings. So I would more reach out to the members and understand their goals. With the current times, the goals of the members have also changed. So reach out to the members, reach out to the area directors, and find out their goals and then work with that. So that would be the plan for this year.
And in terms of encouraging new leadership and building the team of area directors to support Division E, what would be your strategy given that a lot of the usual channels aren't an option right now?
As always, right, reaching out to people, calling up on the phone and getting to know them and understanding what their thoughts are would be the plan to connect with the area directors.
What would you like to see the district do this year?
This year,
Like, what's one thing?
yes, definitely. This year we see a lot of membership issue. So the focus would be more on retaining the members is what I think the district could focus on this year.
Thank you, Vidya. I'm going to nudge you towards your closing statement.
Yes, I would like to say to the members that you are the heart of the organization. Please reach out to us to let us know what your goals are, and we are there for you. And we will provide all the support you need, and we could assist you in whichever way you need and to whatever time frame you need. We are there for you.
Thank you, Vidya. Thank you so much. Great job. See all the physical support. No noise. That's okay. All right, we can bring in our next candidate. I believe that would be Division H.
Division H will be on the move shortly. He's on the move. He's there.
Okay,
He hasn't
Simon.
Unmuted or
Okay.
video yet, but here's the audio's on. Video's not on yet. There it is.
Simon, are you there? Can you hear us?
Yes.
Just hold on one second. Let me just get the right. There's one that said Division H Director. I assume that's the current Division H Director. So let me make sure I get Simon.
He left and returned with a different name.
Yeah. Oh, Simon. Yeah.
I am not seeing. Yeah.
John, Division H Director is Simon, I believe.
Yes.
Oh, it is. Okay.
That's when you're looking for. Yeah, that's the
Yes,
that's
yes.
the candidate.
We're good. Thanks.
Thank you, John. Nominated candidate for Division H Director, Simon Mutrohi. Simon, would you like to make an opening statement or go straight to the
direct to the
questions?
questions.
So during these trying times, your role is going to be to support area directors as they support their respective clubs. What is your strategy for helping them help their clubs overcome these issues and continue to meet and stay together?
I think as the current area 82 director, the challenge that I've found is that most of the clubs have not adopted the new system of holding meetings online and making sure that they are continuing with the programs, the education programs. So I'm going to support the area directors and encourage them to get used to the new way of doing things, because I think we might be in this system for the next 1 year.
Thank you, Simon. And in terms of getting those area directors, what's your plan for recruitment and also generally speaking, encouraging people to step into leadership?
At the moment, in Area 82, I'm a member of 2 clubs. So I attend meetings, and there are people that I know I can be able to approach and ask them if they want to have leadership roles. And for the rest, I can use the network that I have, like former area directors, division director, and also we have club coaches who are DTMs. So I'll network and find out how I can connect and figure out who can be a good leader.
Thank you, Simon. And I know you're an area director here. You've been in a couple of clubs. So what's something that you would like to see the district do, and how would you fit into that strategy to help clubs and just be better?
I think what I've seen in Area 82, one of the biggest challenges is that once people started going to pathways, most people got stuck. They either never got started, or even those who adopted pathways, they are not doing anything. They are not growing. And that's one of the challenges that we have had in my Area 82 clubs that I've had. You find either people never started the education programs, and even those who are there, they were not progressing. And I've been encouraging them that come June, you have no old way of doing things. And I think now that we have COVID-19, things are going to be even more challenging. So the district leadership needs to make sure that they keep on encouraging the clubs to adopt the new way of doing things.
Nudging you towards your closing statement.
I'm looking forward to take up this challenging leadership role.
Sorry, Simon. Good job. Thank you so much, Simon. All right, and Division I Director candidate, Stephanie, will you please bring Barry in?
She has been notified and she's coming across.
Excellent. Thank you. Hi, Barry. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Excellent. Barry Recker, Division I nominated candidate. Would you like to make an opening statement or go straight to the questions?
Gina, I think I'd go straight to the questions. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, Barry, your role this year is going to be to support area directors as they support their respective clubs. What is your plan for helping them during these COVID times?
I would like to meet with them, find out their concerns, and work together as a team to really figure out the best way that would work for them to support as they learn the role and grow into the leaders that will ultimately benefit the district.
That makes sense, Barry. What's your strategy for recruiting area directors?
Gina, if I can be honest, I actually have a few people in mind. I have a little list, and I may have reached out to one that I knew from before I was in Toastmasters, or before she was in Toastmasters. So it's a little, I'm trying to think of the right word, but I can't, so I'm just going to give it back to you.
Sounds like you have a setup, so you'll probably be helping the others. And generally speaking, I know you came into leadership because we met at a contest, and that sort of things took off from there. But what are your thoughts on having that happen for more people?
I actually did it to somebody last year. I took a page out of your book and I told somebody, and they did really great. So I think it's a great opportunity. It's a matter of being able to quickly identify those people. You do meet them. It might be a little bit harder on Zoom. Also, honestly, I've seen some people in meetings where the thought came to me of they would be a great leader.
Oh, that's really wonderful. And what's something the district can do to acquire that direction?
I think before I can answer exactly what they need to do or could do. I believe all of the division directors obviously would need to get together, bring our experience together, and figure out a plan as a team, as a whole, because you can't move forward without working as a whole.
Nudging you to your closing statement.
I am going to my closing statement. Thank you, Gina. I just wanted to say Toastmasters has helped me immensely through my personal and professional life, and I am looking forward to bringing those skills to the next year and helping others.
Thank you very much. Okay, well, thanks everybody. We've gone through all our candidates. I personally have really enjoyed this experience. It's wonderful to be able to ask these questions and see all the potential that we have for people coming in. I'm really looking forward to seeing what all of these leaders we've seen today are going to do. The next step is for them to actually get elected, and that is happening next week. It's going to be on Saturday, May 16th at 9 a.m. And the details for that are on the District 31 website. Do we have Philip Harris in the room? I don't see him. Okay, so I'm gonna just quickly share my screen and show you that. So as I mentioned earlier, this year CLCon is included or free rather with, so given the circumstances, and it's virtual, so it's actually a full week conference. Kudos to this year's leadership team for quickly pivoting and making sure that they can figure out a way to continue having this, but also just make it a full opportunity. And a lot of work has gone into making this a full week event. So I do ask that you please go onto the website, and you can see here the general agenda, everything that's going to be happening, the people that are going to be speaking, and just even reading more, being able to figure out what you need to say to what you need to do to attend with the Zoom details, because there are Zoom meetings set up. And I believe there's an event every day next week. So I would highly recommend that you attend. It's a great opportunity to continue being a part of our District 31 community, making sure that people are meeting, getting together, and doing what we love doing as Toastmasters, which is seeing each other and learning from each other. So I do hope that you will join. Thank you so much for joining us today. And with that, I close out the candidate showcase. Thank you. Okay, stop recording.